I'm totally wrong, and we're in for another crazy one when it comes to the bans and the picks. But looking at them right now, Kassadin and Vayne both banned out first of all.
Okay, yeah, so we saw Froggen playing Kassadin yesterday. Did a fantastic job on him. I mean, he didn't die until way later in the game. He could 1v1 anyone, which unfortunately Evil Geniuses did use to their advantage, but very smart ban. The Vayne, I mean, as you were just saying, we said her so many times she's going to be banned out and taken away. Yeah,
and that Jace, 100% win ratio from 3 games there for Froggen. No surprise, Jay's still very strong. Even though that tier change did come in, we've still been seeing a lot of tiers coming across. It's only seemed to be Genja that stopped building the tier for his stuff. Elise being banned out there as well. Obviously, Shaka, his one win that EG have with him in the team was with the Elise jungle. The final ban then coming out for Lissandra. Leaves Twisted Fate open, and SK gonna take that one away. And they've taken out Kassadin here, so that might be their whole thinking with this.
So, I don't know, I'm looking into that, and I'm like, will they really feel comfortable letting Ocelot have Twisted Fate? I mean, he played it yesterday, wasn't that impactful, so to me it's like, hey, you know, we'll let him have it, we're not really scared about that, and if you do take him, it's like, alright, we get Thresh, we get Malphite, which is huge comfort champions for Krepo and for Wickd, and specifically for Wickd, it's 4 out of 6 games with Malphite right now, and actually in Tenerife, he was out farming constantly the top laners he was up against, and in some games, he actually had the most farm total.
Yeah, and that's a dangerous thing as well. I mean, Wickd, we know that if he's in his comfort zone, that's where he is most dangerous. If you put him out of that, that's where you can catch him out a lot of the time. Yeah. But giving him the Malphite, we'll have to see about this one as SK deep in discussion there. Ocelot and hyrqBot having a chat. Of course, they're the two up picking these next champions, and it looks like it's going to be the bottom lane selected with the Ezreal and Nami.
Okay, so it looks like we're going to see CandyPanda on that Ezreal yet again. He builds blue build, but a little bit differently with them. I don't think he's actually going to go tier this time, but I'll say that right now, and he probably won't end up getting it anyways. But the whole Nami thing, you know, started off not that strong in the summer split of LCS here in Europe, but it's been progressively getting better as the weeks go on. People are finally learning how to play her, and she actually is a very strong support. I would love to see that Swain locked in.
Swain is what Froggen's hovering over. I think Froggen might be pulling our legs a little bit with that one as they switch over towards Jarvan, which for me, more of a normal pickup. Although, you know, Shaka, we've seen the likes of him. If that Elise has been banned out for him, which it has in all but the one game that they won with him, he's gone and fallen back to the Xin Zhao pick. But this time it will be the Jarvan that they lock in. Plus the Caitlyn for Yellowpete, just as we were talking about him falling away to the likes of Twitch and not sitting back on that passive Caitlyn farm. It's going to be a Caitlyn.
Always is that slight chance Caitlyn goes middle. And we could see Twitch come in. Because if you see Nivea locked in, which if you remember back to Fnatic versus SK back in the spring split, I believe it was the first week of games, it was Expecting on Caitlyn and also on Nivea, and Expecting destroyed him in that lane. But obviously we'll see as it does go on. But I was surprised to see Xin left open because hyrqBot has a fantastic record with him. 4 games, 1 out of 5, has a 5 KDA. And if it's working, you know, why not use it again? But it looks like we might see, I'm not sure, I think Demon mentioned it yesterday that Spirit Guard Udyr is on this patch, so we might actually see that awesome skin coming out.
Well, it's going to be locked in either way, so there will be an Udyr in there, along with that Renekton in the top lane. We saw it in the last game, how strong it can be. I say in the last game, in the first game of the day it actually was. It's been 2 long ones, of course. Darian playing a ferocious Renekton. So let's see what EG finish off with here then. It's going to be that mid laner, as we kind of expected to come from last. I say that Malphite could technically be the one that Froggen plays there. He has already played the Malphite in the middle, but really expect that to be on Wickd, and that this last pick will be for Froggen.
I want to touch on the Udyr real quick though, because something that we've seen with him over the past with Gambit picking him up, something that hard counters Udyr is a team that has CC against you. Because obviously, if you CC him, he cannot get to you when he's really fast. But right now, look at EG's side, they don't have a lot of CC to stop him from getting straight into your team. All they really have is that slow off Malphite, maybe the Flay or the hook out of Thresh, and maybe the knock up out of Jarvan. That's about it. So if hyrqBot plays this correctly, he can really make some huge opportunities happen. I mean, look at the lanes he has. He has a stun top lane, he has a stun mid lane, he has a knock up and slows mixed in with Ezreal plus the mobility. He has a lot of lanes to gank, and he can really apply a lot of early game pressure.
So final pick then for Froggen was the Ahri. So we're going to see how charming Froggen is today up against Ocelot in this mid lane. Sorry about that. Freak may have left us in, you know, in physically, but
not in spirit.
His mark has been left. Let's just say that here in Europe. But yeah, the Ahri coming out here for Froggen. Obviously not feeling the Anivias and the Luxas these days. Actually has played 5 games combined with Anivia and Lux and has a big fat 0 when it comes to win percentage with them.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate, but that's kind of how the meta's gone. I mean, those champions not really going to work out too well. Obviously, the burst is really nice, which I would expect the Lux is still possible to be used. It just doesn't really want to use it. Yeah, just doesn't want to use it.
Just doesn't want to go that way. So there you see SK on your screens. And again, it's hard for us to be really talking about, and obviously it is a massive game for both of these teams, but we say, you know, with the lightest touch that these two teams are struggling at the bottom of the table because it is so close right now that they could, with just 2 wins, be right up there in the 3rd or 4th position. So it's really quite hard for us to say which team is struggling in quotation marks right now, because I think the real problem for a lot of these teams is consistency rather than you know, their actual performances on paper, because a lot of them are having 1 good game, 1 bad game, 1 good game, 1 bad game, couple of good games, couple of bad games. I mean, Gambit, yeah, they're exactly the right example for that. Yesterday they got destroyed and today they look fine.
Yeah, I really find it weird that... Oh, look at Wickd. He looks comfortable right there. So he's in his comfort zone champion and his comfort zone chair. But it's weird to say that they're at the bottom of the table when they're 2-3 wins away from being at the top of the table at the same time. But that's how close it is here in Europe. And either of these teams, like, as the weeks go on, we'd only have, like, 2 weeks and these 2 games left to play. You need these wins if you want to make it to the playoffs. And I talked to Krepo a little bit early in the analysis desk, and he's just like... I was talking to a couple of teams, and he's just like, we might not even make it to playoffs. And just hearing something like that from Krepo, from EG, kind of hits home.
Yeah, and that's the problem, that no one really knows if they're finishing 1st or last, with just 2 weeks to go after this one is really quite crazy stuff. So, level 1 here, what can we expect? You know, you've got the likes of the Charm coming out there, the Hook from Krepo as possibilities. On the other side, stuns from hyrqBot, from Ocelote, from Kevin even, and the Bubble as well. Wow, that is an early flash from Wickd, actually in the back of the Tri-Bush there, which for me is dangerous positioning anyway. In the front of it, you're going to see him usually a lot faster coming in. In the end, he's forced to use that flash, which hyrqBot's probably rubbing his hands together for.
Yeah, it's kind of really hard to measure where you want to be in that bush, because if you're in the front of it, then if they ward it over the Baron wall, then you can be stunned right away. But if you're in the back, you'll see the ward, you'll be able to escape. So it's kind of hit or miss. I mean, you're absolutely right. There's 2 sides to that coin, but SK, they just run right through the jungle of Evil Geniuses. They ward it up as well, and they're heading back down to the red. And EG, they're kind of poised for this. Only person that's not here is Wickd, who does have teleport available if they want to.
Oh, there is a fine charm coming through from Froggen through the wall, landing onto hyrqBot. Can't charm the man-bear pig, I'm afraid, who right now is going to be with the rest of his team on the bottom side of their jungle. There is a ward there, so EG know where SK are going, know exactly what side the jungler's starting, know where that duo lane is going. Just that one single ward really giving them a lot of information right from the very get-go of this. And EG right now, they kind of seem to be a little bit all over in terms of, all right, are we going top with the Caitlyn or are we going bottom? Where are they going? Right now, it looks like they will be sending that duo lane to the top, Malphite to the bottom, but SK are going to mirror that.
All right, so yeah, we're going to have the duos up against each other, and with the Caitlyn lane, it's pretty easy for you to stay away from Nami. Obviously, you have that range, but if CandyPanda, I guess, gets really aggressive and hits you with the E on him from Nami, the extra slow, it's pretty easy to land that Aqua Prison. But we're going to see how it's going to develop. They're going to get to lane a little bit later, so EG will have a little bit of a level advantage.
So, starts for the junglers already well underway. As Udyr moving in towards his blue buff, and Jarvan on the top side going in towards his red, and a ping right on top of Jarvan's head there as Nyph being bullied out of the lane here by Krepo. And Thresh getting the better of that one. hyrqBot obviously starting off with that Doran's Blade start, which you've seen becoming the most common start here for these Udyrs.
Yeah, so they go Tiger Stance just for that early single target damage. He's going to be heading actually into the jungle of Evil Geniuses. With those words, he knows exactly where Shocker is, and it looks like he wants to hold him back a little bit, or maybe even swing around towards that top side.
Well, Shaka is not what you'd call low right now. Got about 3/4 of his health going, and hyrqBot just walks in like, bam, 5 gold. Thank you very much. And going out again.
I thought he was upset. He's like, I'm just going to hit something because he took the Wraith before I could come over and take it away. But he's going to zone Shaka a little bit longer. And with those wards, it's really making it so this top lane can be aggressive and farm quite well. And right now, they're currently even. But hyrqBot, I mean, if you're going to play Udyr and you're going to play Tiger Udyr with the Doran's Blade, you have to make some plays happen early. You have to have a gank go off in your favor. And right now, he's being shut down.
Not been able able to get in there just yet, but very early doors, which, you know, two teams which, for me, if you looked at the fixture list coming in here, you'd probably say SKEG gonna be a long game anyway. But on the other side of it, they're so close. They're tied, obviously, in the standings right now, and we are in week 7, which I feel like we're saying time and time again. But it is incredibly important at this stage, as we are going to see Shaka come around, actually misses the knock up there on towards Ocelot, who actually dodges the charm out as well, and he'll be happy that that went the way it did.
What's really cool, though, is actually we see the effects of N-rated being on the team as the analyst, is that you saw where Shocker went. I mean, he knew exactly where the ward was going to be for SK, went completely around them, and wasn't even spotted going in there. He just unfortunately missed that combo.
And we heard as well from N-rated that it's not really a fight between him and Krepo as to who gets that support role, but he also did mention just in case Krepo breaks his hand. I'm not sure if he was referring to any particular situation which might come up. Here, Krepo, just hold this nail while I hammer it into the wall. Oh, there's your hand, sorry. I'll have to play this week. But yeah, I mean, as you said, N-rated in the team who, one of the bigger brains, so to speak, in League of Legends as well. Really, really intelligent guy, and you can see that he's doing a lot here for this EG side. Yeah, it has. We've seen quite a big change in their roster, quite a big change in their, I want to say, energy of the team, where Wickd right now might be getting ganked by hyrqBot. I don't know if they have the damage to kill him. He has his flash almost available, and here they go. There is the bear coming in. Kevin going to get down that stun as well, as they put a lot of damage in, down to half HP. Turtle Stance is in there for hyrqBot. Flashes in for the stun, and they're going to get the kill here. First blood does come down to hyrqBot. Kevin just getting away with his life intact as well. Solid start for SK. And Wickd's flash just came up right as he died right there. He would have been able to escape that gank, but as we were saying earlier, Udyr, you have to be effective early on. And as we just saw, hyrqBot making the big play happen, taking down a tanky Malphite who had a Doran's shield on him. That's honestly a big win for them, because now Kevin, who has teleport to keep up with where Wicked's going, when he's already out farming him, he's going to have an early chain vest over him. Yeah, and Giant Spell just picked up there as well. And as you said, it kind of surprised me that Wickd did, in fact, die to that one, but that flash that was burnt at level 1, if that was available, that was a survival for Wickd. So just showed you how important that can be. And remember what we talked about earlier in the pregame, where yesterday versus Lemon Dogs, SK, they killed 0-0 early on. He had no flash to get away, but they didn't punish him for that. But they were able to do it here, so that shows overnight they've been able to look that over and see what they did wrong and bring it into this game completely different. So let's have a look at some early CS then. And, well, quite frankly, it's really, really even at this point. AD carries mid lane and the solo laners there. The Renekton versus Malphite, it's all pretty much bang on the mark. Obviously, it's that early first blood here that's giving SK that advantage that they've got going forward. hyrqBot waits over at the side of Ocelot here, and well, right now Froggen is level 6, which obviously gives this Ari a lot more mobility as he puts down some good damage onto Ocelot. Sees the Tiger coming across, as we are going to see Nyph now under all kinds of pressure in the top lane. Xhaka came down for that one, but again, not quite able to finish off. Yeah, and that was a great job by Nyph with all that commotion happening, to dodge the hook coming out of Krepo so he didn't get locked down, because that would have been a death for him. But right now, because he doesn't have flash available, he's got to play a little bit safer with that ward down. He knows exactly where Shocker is going, so he's going to be able to do pretty well here, not really be forced around. But Wickd, he's going for that cake middle. Oh, they're going straight in for this one. Charm comes down, and Ocelot goes down as well, and I mean, that is just absolutely crazy stuff. Wickd just coming up, and I was pointing at the screen like, where is Wickd going right now? He's coming up towards his mid lane, and he just goes straight through from the Wraith camp with unstoppable force, landing perfectly onto Ocelot, and now Yellowpete in all kinds of danger as well. Had to use his barrier. CandyPanda going to get exhaust from this one, as the Piltover actually missing from that, and CandyPanda here getting that speed out of Nyph, tries to get in there for some extra damage as well, but in the end, no kill coming down in that top lane for now. And that was just wow. That Wickd play, I mean, that was just so smart, knowing that, all right, well, I need to make something happen. They know how strong Froggen can be for their team, and then to pick him up a kill like that, to get him a little bit of an early lead, to shut down Ocelot, as we mentioned before. Like, once he gets shut down, the momentum of SK kind of gets shut down, and a great start in the beginning for them, even though they did die, right? Well, Wickd did die in that previous gank from hyrqBot. So, junglers on their red buff at this point. See that Tiger stance of Udyr really ripping straight through it there, no problems on that front. Froggen doing something he really likes to do here, which is back off while he has that time to the race, get that extra farm in there. get it back in towards mid lane. Right now, got a 12 CS or 10 CS lead over Ocelote, who now up at level 6 already. We mentioned that earlier on, not being able to use the Destiny so far to get involved.
Yeah, this is the downside to being up against Ard and picking Twist of Fate this early, is that the other team, okay, he does get it, but the downside is when you're against an Ahri who can push the lane so quickly, if you do teleport to another lane, you're going to lose a lot of health on your turret. It's going to be very hard to gank Wickd, who will have his ultimate available very shortly, has his flash available, and then the top lane, you have a Thresh, so you have the possibility to go for some ganks there. It's just all about if Nyph can land that Aqua Prism. But a nice pull comes on the CandyPanda.
There's a hook coming in. Flay comes down, but the hyrqBot coming around the side. Look at CandyPanda, though, going very low from this one. They're focusing down Krepo right now, who's really not got much health left whatsoever, but he saunters on out of that one. And in the end, again, no kill coming down.
That was a great box turn out of him, too, because you saw hyrqBot is like slowly running into him, and unfortunately wasn't able to catch him early enough. But Shakker's here. He's going to help try to stop this dive.
Yeah, hyrqBot coming around. Teleport's coming in as well from Kevin. Can they get on top of him? Kevin's full HP, and he'll just walk straight in there, gets that kill. Now they go in towards hyrqBot. Good Cataclysm. Ocelote here in the mid lane. Is he going to be able to survive this one? Stun card comes down. Froggen not done as he flashes in, takes another turret hit, but he's going to walk out of that one. Nicely done.
But SK, they're going to come up with a turret off of this. So they're going to get the first turret of the game. They're going to extend their goal lead even further. And yes, Ocelote, he is 0-2 right now, but you have a 1-0-1 Kevin. You have a 1-0 hyrqBot. And then you have 2 assists given over to your AD carry and support. So in the end, it was a pretty, I kind of want to say equal trade, but SK did come out ahead in that one.
So not equal.
So not equal. No, one-sided. I was thinking about it as I was saying. I want to say it's equal, but no, Jason, you're wrong.
So as they look down of the gold, you can see that Froggen, as you'd expect, CS lead, kill lead. He's got a gold lead to go on top of that one as well. Meanwhile, Kevin coming back down to this bottom lane does have a lead in there as well. He's up at about 600, 700 gold to his advantage right now. Dragon has remained untouched here, which probably won't be for too long because, you know, we've seen so often that Udyr at these early levels, I say early levels, he's up to 7 now, but, you know, this is a point where you can do Dragon as if by magic. SK starting off.
Right now, Ocelote's going to get pulled here. They're actually going to commit to him here, and here comes Froggen.
Yeah, Froggen coming around the side. Charm has landed. The bubble not quite landing onto Froggen there, and EG not really got the rest of the team. As Wickd coming around the side, Shaka's there as well. And actually, Wickd flashing away there, decided not to use Unstoppable Force. It's still available to him. There, he does use it to get in onto Ocelote at the backside. Ocelote is trying to walk away. Levels up to give him a bit more health, and now Krepo gonna fall down from this one. It's a 2-for-1 right now in favor of EG. In favor of SK. And in the end, deciding not to chase any further from that one. Dragon is still alive. Ocelote is still alive after going incredibly low from that as well.
Yeah, EG, they were just trying to wait for as long as possible because you saw Yellowpete was nowhere in the vicinity to help out. He was still top lane, and that's why SK went for that Dragon right away. They're going to try to take it down here. They don't have a smite available, but Shaker, he has his up.
Oh, Shaka, he's waiting off towards the side, but he's super low. It's going to be a suicide mission for him if he decides to go in. In the end, he dies before getting onto Dragon. Kevin going onto Froggen right now. He is going good amounts of damage onto it. Yellowpete comes in. Couple more auto attacks will win, but CandyPanda turns around. Barrier baited, and Yellowpete picks up a kill. Great turnaround, and Froggen goes to the charm over the wall there as well, knowing that SK were very low. Maybe took a little bit too long around for that one. It leaves us at 5-for-4. Dragon still alive, but a 2,000 gold lead for SK Gaming.
And in the end, that was just a 2-for-3. And Evo Geniuses, yes, they lost 3 members, but they kept them off of that Dragon. So they're going to try to go back here, maybe make another fight happen right off the back of that. I was trying to say that, you know, Wickd, he was trying to stall for time. He flashed away from the fight in the beginning, and then he used his Unstoppable Force only on the Ocelote, who ended up escaping either way. Yellowpete was still just a little bit slow in getting there, and SK were able to come out pretty much ahead in that fight.
So, we've seen both of these teams with gold leads in the past and really struggling to, you know, turn that gold lead into the potential that it has then to finish out a game, and you have to wonder if that's going to be a possibility for either side in this one, as well as the supports ward each other's faces pretty much there. But SK going to start off Dragon once again, but again EG are there.
Froggen's not here to help out though, and they need his damage. He's 2-0-1. He almost has a DFG done, and SK looks like they should be able to get this Dragon for free, Joe.
Well, Froggen is not even at the halfway point of the map just yet. SK doing their best to hold everyone back as Shaka goes in there. And Shaka is going to steal the dragon. Can they get away? They've locked in onto CandyPanda. Unstoppable Force comes down. Krepo's going to die. And Froggen coming in from the side as well. Might mean that EG can keep going with this one. Bubble will lock up Yellowpete, but Froggen's got charges left on the ultimate as he goes in. Ace in the hole. Gonna be the kill left for Yellowpete. Ocelote will get the stun down onto Wickd, and that's the signal to stop pushing through. And what a move out of EG. Not only do they get the kill advantage, they pick up the dragon steal as well.
Just wow, shocker right there. I mean, no holds barred, just going straight in. Guys, I'm going in for this. Steals it away. And then, of course, Wickd with that nice unstoppable force, set up that fight. Great job by them. Come out with a high amount of gold right now because it's a Twisted Fate. Obviously, they get a little bit of extra gold for every minion killed, but EG, they're not out at all. They just showed right there that, yeah, Shaka's made an improvement on this team, and they're not afraid to fight.
Froggen is down in this bottom lane once again. Nyph was just about to recall and realize, okay, bit of farm for me, possibly. If he can actually hit, would be a bonus, I'm sure. Ocelote going to get himself a blue buff as well. Same is up over on the EG side of the map, so Froggen should be getting that one as soon as he comes back into that area. Does have that DFG now finished, and he's running a solid lead in terms of the gold as well.
And there's something we have to point out. Look at Yellowpete's score. 3-0-1 with 114 CS. Yeah. We talked about him being very passive, and he picked Caitlyn when he's been picking like Twitch and some duelists, but this Caitlyn's been working out really well for him, and over these past 2 weeks, he's really stepped up his game. Like, he's really been a playmaker for his team, you know, getting a lot of kills, really becoming a strong threat. And the thing is, he's on Caitlyn, who is very strong late game, and any kills, any CS advantage you can get early on kind of takes away from your mid-game lull that you have in damage.
Yeah, Azrael obviously going into that man immune, which kind of helps things out when it comes to stacking it anyway. You know, the tier itself is obviously slower to come in, but with the fact that you can get it in with the auto attacks as well, is always a bit of a bonus coming out there to get it up to the level you want for that Mura mana. See Wickd here pushing in towards that top turret. Ocelote probably can't do too much damage to him right now. I mean, look at Ocelote, what he's got in terms of items.
Or doesn't
or doesn't have. Yeah, that's probably the important part of that one. I mean, he's facing up against an Ahri with a DFG. There's no wonder he doesn't want to stay in lane with him.
And the problem is that if you look at CandyPanda, like, he's blue build. So he fell behind in lane, and now he's going to be even weaker as the game goes on. Kevin getting caught here. Froggen, he might have the damage to burst him down.
Yeah, use the DFG on him there, but Kevin turning things around. We've got hyrqBot coming around the side, but look at Froggen. He's not even worried about that one, just using his charm, even managing to get off a good couple of hits onto Kevin. Well, he missed hyrqBot technically there at the end, but he tried at least. That's my point. He wasn't scared of what was happening in that lane. So hyrqBot comes back off to cover there. So, you know, Froggen bossing things around, and it feels like we say that very, very often with Evil Genius. You know, the mid laners, I think, in Europe more than possibly most other regions are so important as that charm comes through just as Kevin recalls.
Yeah. Not charming enough, as you were saying earlier, John. No. But yeah, I mean, it's very true that mid laners, like, they are the lane to look at when you're talking about Europe. And North America, it's about bot lanes, it's about AD carries, or maybe just about double up in particular. But I mean, it's shown time and time again how strong they are. And going back to Ives real quick, as we mentioned a little bit earlier, that, you know, CandyPanda, blue Ezreal build, but is behind in the beginning. If you fall behind, you kind of stay behind on him. So SK needs to get him in the game a little bit, get him some farm. And then Ocelote doesn't have anything right now, which is a really downside, because you look at where all the kills are. You have 2 on a Kevin, which is not bad. Like, it's not bad at all, having it over to a tanky character like that who can do a lot of damage. But when you're dependent on mostly CandyPanda and Ocelote to do the damage for your team, they don't really have the kills that they need to. It's going to hinder you a little bit.
There's a turret going down in that bottom lane, and Froggen. Now that DFG cooldown, funnily enough, is pretty much perfect for damaging Kevin, wait until he gets back to lane, waiting a few, maybe one wave, and then it's back up again. So you can constantly harass with that one, I'm sure. Going to become even more of a problem as EG move to mid.
And this is something that EG didn't do yesterday when they had Twisted Fate, or not Twisted Fate, they had Cassius. Also, he's going to go in on Froggen here, but he still has ult charges.
Oh, actually going back in on towards Ocelote there. That's very ballsy play coming out of Froggen. Wickd coming down as well, and look at that. It's pretty much a 2v1. That's Froggen going to get himself in there for that one. There was a kill onto Ezreal as well for Yellowpete on Caitlyn. And there's Shaka actually flashing back towards the red buff. Froggen did pick up that kill, and again, the turnaround from EG just showing what that teleport can really do and, well, what the advantage early on for Froggen can really mean for a team.
And this is what EG didn't do yesterday. They had Froggen on Kasim. They had teleport Malphite. They didn't split push, and right now Froggen, he is strong enough to 1v1 anyone in the game right now and even survive a 1v2 gank like that. And then, of course, if it does happen, Wickd teleports down and turns it completely around. So EG, they definitely learned their lesson from yesterday, just like SK did, and they're playing completely different this game.
You see, Wickd got that Sunfire Cape in. Frozen Heart already started with that Glacial Shroud pickup. Froggen gonna be headed home here and probably got a lot of money to spend. Yeah, kinda. Picks up the Sorcerer Shoes and a needlessly large rod with a couple of wards just to make sure he's safe, pushing wherever he's gonna be sent.
I was just thinking back to what Deficio was talking about on the analysis desk yesterday, saying all Froggen needed to do in that game, pick up a couple of wards, split push. And with these wards, it looks like he wants to go for that. He's 3-0-3. Yellowpete's 4-0-1. And you even have Wickd, who's 2-2-2, so he's got the kills to buy the tanky items he needs with that Glacial Shroud. So right now, they have a perfect lineup to fight SK.
Yeah, and although SK have, you know, the Destiny and that teleport, the problem that they have, as you mentioned before, that's kind of the perfect way to counter that split push normally, is to have someone with teleport, have the Destiny there, but the fact is, when that guy that's split pushing can 1v1 both the guy with the teleport and the Destiny, that's when you really start to run into problems as EG pick up a Dragon here again. And that will leave them at 3,000 gold almost exactly in the lead as they move back towards the middle. Obviously, that turret is already down there. All outer turrets in the game finished off already by EG.
And we can talk about how, you know, SK, they're kind of behind right now at EG. They're really far ahead. But we have to keep in mind, like, look at how this is going. So if Nyph can land a nice Auger Prison on a Froggen, it's really hard to do, but it's possible. If that happens, they can stun him, they can lock him down and blow him up right away. And then you look at Kevin, like, so he got 2 kills, he has 4 assists, he's pretty tanky. He can withstand the damage that Yellowpete can put out for a little bit longer than anyone else can. So if he can zone Yellowpete and they can kill Froggen, then they can win the team fight.
Well, we saw on the bottom left there in the split push cam that Kevin was trying to do a little bit of kind of a taste of their own medicine there for EG, but that didn't really work out for them. Froggen has now got his wards down on the bottom side of the jungle, so he's got every entry in towards that inner turret on the bottom lane now covered with vision, so he knows when he's going to get headed off and by whom, and, you know, can pick his fights accordingly from that one.
And what's scary is when Froggen sets his mind to something, it's really hard to stop him from doing that. And he has his eyes on this bottom turret. Now he wants to take that down. He's got the wards, just like you said, placed down to make it happen. And if anyone goes for him, then the rest of his team can split push somewhere else right now.
hyrqBot looking...
That's the only thing that can get him out of the lane, split pushing. A blue buff right there. He's like, all right, I'll come back.
I'll just come back for that one, and then I'll be back down in a few minutes, Ocelot. So, you know, just stay there, use your wild cards to farm out. Well, in the meantime, EG saying, right then, we'll just push out somewhere else. Going into that middle lane there. The Aqua Prism comes down. Not quite connecting the net of Yellowpete getting him out. Now, Yellowpete, we talked about it in our featured matchup there. Who's going to step it up for these AD carries? And so far, Yellowpete, well, he's 40 CS into the lead. He's 4-0-1 in kills. He's a mile ahead right now.
Yeah, he really is. And with the way it's going, like, he's just getting all the farm funneled to him. All the farm that isn't where Froggen is. So Froggen's sitting bottom lane. That means Yellowpete's getting farm from 2 lanes and the jungle if he does want to visit the top lane and pick that up. So he's just getting super fed right now. Already has that Bloodthirster, already has that Last Whisper in Froggen. He feels confident to pretty much tank that turret. They get another one that takes it 4-1 in turrets for Evil Geniuses. And their goal lead is just getting wider.
Getting wider.
Yeah,
wider, bigger. You're right though, Jason. We all knew what you meant. That's all fine. Frozen Heart has just been picked up there as well for Wicked's Malphite. On the other side, Aegis was collected by Kevin, so he's going to be the one tasked with that one. Ocelot himself starting to finally get something out of there from that Cage's lucky pick that he seemed to have for about 15 minutes of this one. Turned into a Twin Shadows as Froggen going to face check here on towards hyrqBot. This could actually be really dangerous as he does get stunned there. Still got one charge of the ultimate to go away, but is he going to escape? Yes! Oh no! The lantern came down. He was burning from the ignite, but EG are all over them once again. They're going to keep going for this one. There is a kill for Shaka. Kevin out of position. There's a true shot barrage. But look at Yellowpete at the back. He's hammering away here. Kevin's got decent amounts of armor, but he's still not able to survive through that one as the Piltover goes through as well. EG decided to disengage. Both mid laners went down, which for me better off for SK there.
Oh yeah, completely. They got a shutdown bonus onto Froggen, and it went over to ocelote particularly, so his items are going to be able to ramp up a little bit harder. And we talked about, like, SK, they still have a team where they can take EG down as well. CandyPanda get very crisp right there, but did a lot to Yellowpete. And you know, with that catch on a Froggen, with the gold card, if Nyph was there, maybe the Aqua Prison could have locked it down even longer, but they're able to kill them. It's just about getting that team fight that you want to have happen.
And you saw there how squishy Nyph still is, almost being dropped away by the ace in the hole from Yellowpete. We've got now the Zhonya's Hourglass added in for Froggen, so there is already his weakness. Well, you know, that him being chased down. If I'd have maybe survived a little bit longer to actually use my flash, which he didn't even bother to use in that last one, which is the Zhonya's, he may be able to survive that next time around. So we'll see what Froggen goes for next. EG have got complete ward control on the top side of the map around Baron, as Krepo just checks that one out. Baron gives him a roar, but a little bit early, I think, for this one for EG.
And it looks like ocelote's actually going for Zhonya's as well. And right now, with the way Zhonya's has kind of come into the meta where you see every AP carry picking one up, it's kind of like a temporary couple-second pause timer. Oh, right now, look at Evil Geniuses. They're actually doing Baron.
Wow, they are actually doing it. I'll apologize for that one. As I said, I don't think they're going to do it at this stage of the game. 24 minutes in, but my gosh, they are. True Shot Barrage comes through. SK realized, right then, EG are doing Baron. We've got to stop this one from happening. Shaka got very low. You can see at this stage of the game that Baron takes a hell of a lot of time to be pulled down. And in the end, EG decides, no, let's get away. No mistakes.
I think if Wickd was tanking Baron and then he had Yellowpete attack it, they might have been able to take it down because Shaka just doesn't have that tankiness that he needs, and Wickd will have it. He's Malphite and he has that Frozen Heart and the Sunfire Cape down, not to mention a Door and Shield. But Froggen is like, all right, guys, you know, we tried Baron, we tried to be sneaky, it didn't work. Let's just go back to doing what was working so far, letting me split push, and then the rest of you guys just pushing the lanes, getting that farm, and that's exactly what they're going for.
See Wickd and Kevin gonna butt heads in this top lane. No.
Jeez.
And it's one of those lane mates, it's one of those 1v1s that are just pointless to watch almost, because they can't really kill each other. They got to throw everything at each other, and both don't have a tower behind them, so it's going to be a long drawn-out thing, which neither of them are probably going to end up committing to. They see that Renekton did go back. He's actually recalled in there, so they're not going to get sight of him either way. And they'll see that Kevin has now left. So there's a look at the gold for you. And I can see that 2,000 is the lead that Froggen has over Ocelote. Similar scenario over for the AD carries as well, with a 40 CS lead plus the kill lead for Yellowpete.
Right now, EG, it's kind of like, all right, we're on in like a little bit of a pause moment right now, but Dragon is available, and it looks like everyone's heading down for that, or might be heading down for that very soon. As you do see Kevin in the top lane, but he has his teleport available, and he's been split pushing quite well. It's not really a champion you expect to split push for, you know, as a Renekton, but with the tankiness he has, the damage he has, he can survive against pretty much everyone except Froggen, which he might have a hard time escaping. But here we go, Dragon is started up right now, and SK don't have any wards on this, but they do have a Twisted Fate.
Yeah, Twisted Fate is there, but no, just no.
It doesn't work unless you hit the ultimate.
Yeah, you have to get that vision from Destiny down, which not done this time around. Wickd just getting himself a Giant's Belt as he goes back. Thank you very much. A little bit more power for me. And now if you look at the items of the AD carries right now as well, I mean, Yellowpete is a bit far ahead. I think that's maybe even a bit of an understatement. Bloodthirst, the Last Whisper, Phantom Dancer in there as well, carrying the red buff right now. And I mean, as a blue edge, really is a question for you, Jason. You start to fall behind and it's hard to catch back up.
Right.
Is that the time, you know, at what point do you deviate from your plan and try and go as normal as you can? Because the fact is, it's two very different routes that don't really allow that much in terms of deviation, right?
I think it's that moment that you pick up that tier, you're committed to it. I mean, we think back to Tenerife with Reckless, you know, over at Copenhagen Wolves, who is, you know, obviously still with Fnatic, but he actually had Edge roll, but he built Infinity Edge. He built like a normal standard 80 carry route with that. So if you go with that tier, you're committing, you're saying, all right, I'm going to go this blue build, doesn't matter if I get behind or not. But the only difference is, in terms of deviation, I would say, is the Iceborne Gauntlets, where you go for that a little bit earlier, so you get the tankiness, and you get that kite ability. But right now, EG, they're looking for this top turret here, and they should be able to take it. They have all 5 members. We have Osa at the bottom lane trying to go for that turret there, but this is not an equal trade.
No, and Ocelote is going to get that turret, but it's a 4-on-5, and he's kind of out of range now. Destiny does not allow you to get that far back. So he's going to have to make a decision. He is going to recall.
Okay, I was about to say, that's a good move because EG can dive just like this.
EG starts to go through. There's a tidal wave, which will not really do much to push EG back from it. As Froggen using those ultimate charges to get as much damage in as he can. Kevin starts to work in. The charm not landing onto anyone. And SK brute forcing EG away from that. They've done half of the turret's health there on the inhibitor. So I guess feeling like job's done from their side of things. Are they going to go Baron now?
No. I don't believe they should go for this. Yes, they have the vision. If anything, they should bait it because there's no point in going to that Baron and throwing a game away. Both these teams have done that so many times in the past. And right now, SK, they're just forced to face check it here. And EG, they're not really set up to make this happen, but it looks like they're just going to push down middle, maybe go for another outer inner turret.
Outer inner turret.
Yeah, I was like, what did I just say?
Either of those. But it will be an inner turret, luckily, Jason. So you weren't wrong.
Technically an outer inner?
Yeah, you weren't wrong in a way, I suppose. That one's already down to less than half HP as well here. They've got Wickd, who's got enough armor to be not caring whatsoever about that turret. If he wants to decide to tank that one up. We see that the Muramana now has been converted for CandyPanda, so finally got that stacked up to where he wants.
Yeah, that's a big power spike for him, and that actually might be the perfect time to make it happen and stop EG from taking this turret. But EG, they have such a strong team for diving right now, and SK, I mean, if they can catch CandyPanda or ocelote, since ocelote doesn't have it out minus that flash, then they can blow them up right away. And Wickd, he's tanky enough to just sit there and tank the turret. That's 3 hits without his passive proccing.
Oh, hyrqBot taking the charm in there as well, and turret being hit on here. Kevin gets knocked back, gets charmed back in. They're going on towards ocelote. Unstoppable Force was down. Krepo puts the box in there, and it's not looking amazing for EG here as Zhonya's is going to be used. There is a lantern escape from as they go back in with a Cataclysm, and that will end with actually a 1-for-0 in favor, or make it a 2-for-0 there in favor of SK. Was it the Ignite?
I think he died to minions.
Yeah, it was the Ignite and Nyph there. That actually picked him up the kill. Yellowpete, though, still alive, doesn't care, gets the turret down and says, well, at least we've got that, I suppose.
It might not be enough, though.
No.
Okay, yeah, but the whole point of that last fight was a little bit weird because EG, as we do see him just going middle of the farm, but EG, they actually had a split engage. You saw Wickd, he hit CandyPanda, he hit ocelote with an Unstoppable Force, but then Shocker, he went straight for Kevin. So they were splitting damage, splitting CC, and ocelote and CandyPanda were able to walk away with a sliver of health and take a free turret off of it.
Yeah, taking a free turret, and that always surprised me, you know, backing completely away. Twisted Fate with that Sheen in there now as well, got plenty of AP there. Between him and the Ezreal, gonna be able to take turrets down really, really quickly off that one, as we've just seen. So let's have a look at the overall picture for this one. It's a 3,000 gold lead currently for Evil Geniuses. They've got a 3-turret advantage, a 1-kill advantage as well. But as we saw during that last one, it's still not a finished deal when it comes to these team fights.
Yeah, I mean, we think back to the game that happened just previously with Lemon Dogs and Fnatic. I mean, there was that one fight of Dragon when Fnatic engaged upon, Fnatic engaged upon the tank. Used everything on him, weren't able to kill him, and Lemon Dogs were able to turn that around. And that right there for Evil Geniuses, trying to go for Kevin, splitting it up, not picking up that kill, is kind of the same deal. And SK, they're going to come out happy with that trade in the end, able to get a kill, able to get a little bit more farmed onto the right targets. However, Nyph obviously did pick up the kill, but he's 3-0-5. He has luck of the Iron Solar. He's pretty tanky now, and he can provide a lot of utility to that team.
Also a little bit of a shame almost for SK that 3 kills are with the support at this point. I mean, as you said, look at the Ancillary, great item to have in there, but if you think those 3 kills could have been on CandyPanda, that would have certainly changed his outlook and where he is right now in this particular game. Added the last Whisper now in towards that Blade of the Ruin King and the Muramana as well, as EG start to work their way down. That wasn't Malphite I forgot the word.
That was the last Whisper hitting him, and it didn't do anything.
Yeah, it didn't really do anything. We heard the roar coming out of hyrqBot as well while we were looking at Wickd, which was kind of strange. I thought,
no, that is Malphite
imitating him. No, it was the actual. It wasn't.
Oh, okay, because yeah,
it was the roar of hyrqBot.
Okay.
Imitating is the word I was looking for. Let's move on from that.
I was thinking, do rocks roar? I'm like, nope.
This one almost did during that last one.
But EG, they're going to push here on this middle turret. They have Unstoppable Force available again. They have Teleport available of Wickd, but they're not split pushing. And right now, SK, I mean, with that wave clear they had with CandyPanda, with ocelote, with Kevin, they're more than happy to sit there and wait because they're just getting all this free farm. The bot lane's pushing for them, so someone on EG is going to have to back away and take that away. But right now, Dragon is available at EG. They're looking to pick up, I believe, their 3rd of the game.
Well, let's have a look there. Red buff going to be stolen away. as they all get themselves through. All but Shaka, who's waiting for his Dragon Strike cooldown. There we go. He's into the Dragon Pit as well. And this will be going to Evil Geniuses. No contest for that one. And that will put them 4,000 gold now in the lead. So slowly but surely, EG picking things up. They were in this similar scenario yesterday, even more of a gold lead, to be honest, that they had yesterday. And surely the talks that they've had overnight will mean that they avoid what, the scenario that they got into yesterday.
But yeah, and that's the benefit of having an analyst with Unrated. I mean, he's sitting there looking at that game pretty much unbiased to everyone on the team, where you might get offended saying, oh no, I didn't mess that up. But he can just sit there and be like, yeah, you messed that up. I saw it, and you need to change that. And they're able to do that overnight. And right now, SK, it looks like they're trying to set up for a Baron here. It'd be a very ballsy play out of them, but I'm not sure if they have the damage to take it down that quickly right now.
No, I don't think so either. And in the end, with Kevin not even there, does have teleport, of course, but not there, and decide not to go for that one just yet. Wickd actually is recalling home as well, so he's going to be picking up something new. Obviously, he had that giant swell in there. He's working up towards that Randuin's Omen right now.
Yeah, he is. And when he gets that, I mean, he's going to have so much armor that CandyPanda won't do anything to him. Kevin, he needs to be able to shred a percentage of his armor with his slice and dice, but, I mean, that's about it. No one's going to do too much damage to him. And I was just thinking, SK, when they have a slight gold lead, they seem to be able to close out games better than they do when they have like a 10,000 gold lead, because it takes them a lot longer sometimes. And EG is kind of the other way around, where they don't need a huge lead against you to close games out, as they're only sitting on about 3,000 at this point and trying to go for Baron, but they're going to be stopped by Twisted Fate. But Kevin, he's bot lane pushing right now. He's going for that second turret, the outer inner turret, or just the inner turret, I guess is the better way to say it. And right now, only person that can get over there and stop him is Wickd. And this is a great job by SK to pretty much force EG to make a move. Like, yeah, you either need to go for Baron, and we can just teleport in and stop you, or you need to go stop Kevin from split pushing, which Wickd won't be able to kill him 1v1.
Definitely not going to be able to kill him. Shouldn't happen the other way around either, as well, as Wickd goes in there and Kevin's like, nope, do not care at this point. I am having this turret away. There's nothing that you can do about that one. And, well...
I'm just watching. Wickd's like, stop doing that, and he just walks away.
Yeah, they just can't really do that much to each other. I mean, even Wickd himself's got that much armor that Kevin would probably struggle to do anything back either way. But he's got the turret down. He backs away. Is Nyph going to get caught out here? He's shut down now, and here comes the teleport. Wickd going to join in the middle, and are they going to now turn and burn for that Baron, Jason?
It looks like they're going to go for it. They have an Oracle. They have the ability to clear all the vision. They don't have the Nami CC, which is so crucial, but SK, they're like, all right, forget it. We're going to go stop you. I thought they were going to push middle, but they're going to actually teleport into the backside here. And EG, they got to be careful.
Well, they're still going to keep going through. There comes Kevin in. Twin Shadow goes, slowing them down. Wickd, what are you going to do with that unstoppable force? Where are you going to put that one? The Baron right now is hammering Kevin, and EG are quite happy to keep him there for a while. He's just going to sit in the back, finally slicing his way through, and they go back towards the Baron. It's down to just 3,000, 2,000 health right now, and they're going to keep going in for this one as Krepo lashes them back. Baron taken. Here comes the fight. EG going in with unstoppable force. Cataclysm comes down and is cancelled. Krepo going very low. Kevin's going to surely die here as he flashes over the wall. Going to get finished off by Froggen, who's going to keep chasing down right now. It's a 1-for-0, but SK are all super low as Ace in the hole comes through, picks up the kill on towards CandyPanda, and this will surely be an inhibitor turret.
It very well should be. It might even be two, honestly, because they have a huge wave top pushing. They're going to get that one down, and the middle turret's already very low at this point. And EG, that was a great play overall. I mean, you saw what they did. You pointed out perfectly, is that Kevin was sitting in the pit, and they were like more than happy to let Baron attack him the entire time, wait for him to leave that pit to go to commit for that Baron. And then when they did that, you saw Krepo just zone them away with his Flay, with his box, to just stop hyrqBot from getting there to potentially steal it. Phenomenal play with them, very smart play.
So, what are EG going to do next? Obvious choice here would be that middle inhibitor turret. They've got a wave of minions coming in. 50, let's say 10 seconds on Kevin and CandyPanda to get back into this fight. Two champions that they're going to need to hold off a Baron up EG, but EG going through here, they're going to have those two inhibitors away. Are they going to go down for the third one here?
And right now, I'm looking at Yellowpete. He's got 3,800 gold to spend. That is a ridiculous amount, and he's 6-0 through it now. And if they do go for this turret, they have the ability to go for it, but, Wickd, he's low on mana right now. He has a Unstoppable Force available. Shocker's Cataclysm will be up very shortly, and Froggen, I almost combined Wickd and Froggen there, has his ultimate available too. but that's a lot of gold to spend. You'd think they want to go back, spend it, and then come back with all the super minions coming in through the middle and top.
Or not, they're going to stick around for this one, at least for now. Entire team is there. It's probably going to get locked up here inside the Aqua Prison. There comes the tidal wave across. hyrqBot there from the side as Wickd. Unstoppable Force comes down. CandyPanda gets popped, and that may just be enough to secure them the third and final inhibitor turret from this one. They're going to keep hammering away on it. The turret does go down. Inhib itself is going to fall from this one. EG might look to close out the game right now.
They have 3 waves of super minions coming. Kevin's even sitting there taking the damage from Yellowpete. Laughing and walking towards him right there. But they don't have the super minions, and there they come. They're finally flooding in here, and that was just a phenomenal engage. You saw CandyPanda go splat, just got exploded right away, or as QuickShot would say, deleted. Deleted
from the map, and he's now not up for another 20 seconds. And EG, you can see they're going for the victory right here. They're going to try and finish off this game right now and climb ahead of SK in the table. Kevin goes in, gets finished off as Yellowpete goes godlike from this one. The turrets go down, the Nexus is going to go down, and there is the victory for Evil Geniuses here over SK Gaming.
And wow, I was about to say, Froggen's been looked at happy, even though he played a fantastic game going 5-1 and 6, but Yellowpete, he looks like just so happy from that, going 7-0 and 4. He was so strong, he had 5,000 gold to spend at the end of that game that he didn't even get to use, and that was a great job at EG. And the thing is, you know, I was saying Krepo earlier, saying that we might not even be in the World Finals, we might not even be in the playoffs, but that gets them one step closer with that victory.
Yeah, and maybe even more importantly at this stage, one step closer from the bottom of the table, which still, though, super close in that one. I don't think we can really talk about that even at this stage, because obviously everyone's focus is coming up towards those playoffs to get themselves into the World Finals. That's where they want to be, and EG really stepping things up there. We saw the problem for them yesterday was they had a lead, but they didn't know what to do with it, or they didn't do what they knew they had to do, which is something that obviously changed overnight there. EG yesterday would have probably left after they'd taken down the one inhibitor turret and inhibitor. This time, though, stuck around, took the fight on the bottom inhib turret even, managing to catch CandyPanda out, and that just opens up the floodgates for the win.
Yeah, and when you were saying, what are they going to do after the second inhibitor, I'm thinking, back off, wait for next Baron to come up then for the victory. But yeah, I mean, we talk about Evil Geniuses. They were able to look at what they did wrong yesterday, come back today with fixing all the problems they had, but so did SK. I mean, we can't take anything away from them that game because they played like really well, considering they got a little bit behind early on. Yes, they got the first spot, but they got shut down a little bit because of all the dragons. They still put up a very strong stand. It's just unfortunate that they were just a little bit too far behind. They slipped a little bit too far away as Froggen just kind of snowballed really hard. So did Yellowpete, but they still played extremely well. They really changed up what they did wrong yesterday and fixed it for today as well.
Yeah, and we see another game where Froggen, you know, starts to get ahead, starts to be a real problem for these teams. Split push that bottom lane completely out there, taking the inner turret, and now putting all those wards down. He finished 5-1-6 in the end, but I'm happy that we did that whole head-to-head thing before we started in this game, talking about the AD carries, because that's where we really did see a massive difference coming in. CandyPanda finishing 0-5-7 with that blue Ezreal build that was slow to get started. I mean, by the end was quite far into that whole thing. Got his Sheen added in there for the other items coming through. But the problem is, Yellowpete 7-0-4 by the end. Had the Bloodthirster, had the Last Whisper, had the Phantom Dancer, and another BF sword on top of that as well.
And 6,000 gold.
And 6,000 gold to actually spend. So if they'd have not finished it off there, they probably would have done it straight afterwards. But Yellowpete really stepping things up.
He really did. I mean, he played well the entire game. He was aggressive early on. He played aggressive with Caitlyn against Ezreal and Nami, which is a little bit hard to do, but he knew he had Chakra on his back. Like, he knew if he was going to go in, Chakra would be able to save him in time. It happened many times over and over again. And yeah, I mean, it was just a very well-played game by him. And we're always talking about games are starting to last a little bit longer right now in European LCS, and this is where AD carries really shine. They're really the backbone of the team, and Yellowpete's shown that he can take that weight on his shoulders.
Yeah, and one thing we should also really touch on is the decision-making here from EG, especially around that Baron, because they played that one perfectly, just waiting, letting Kevin take all those hits, putting damage down onto him where they could, while keeping the focus on the bulk of the SK team that was obviously going to coming from underneath them. They managed to get the Baron just as SK came in and then hammered them in the fight. Brilliantly done.
Yeah, it really was. And we've seen Baron just throw so many games for so many teams, and they were able to just like hit the pause button. Like, all right, guys, take a second. Let's think about this. Let's not do anything too hasty. Let's not throw this game away. And it worked out well for him.
Well, that's it from us for this game. But we're going to head over to the stage where Shox is waiting with Shaka for an interview.
Thank you very much, Shaker. Welcome to the interview lounge for the first time. Congratulations on the victory. Starting off at picks and bans, maybe notable the Vayne ban. Is the CandyPanda on Vayne what you guys were most afraid of going into this one?
Yeah, he can pretty much single-handedly carry the team with Vayne, and we didn't want to play against it. It's really, really strong. So, and Pete didn't play it to pick it, so we just thought about banning it.
All right. Tell me about the dragon fight, where you eventually smited the dragon away, because it seemed to be a very long-winded affair, which seemed to tip the scales in your favor. Tell us your perspective on that.
I wanted to wait until the dragon got low, because normally with Jarvan's passive, it's 8% magic damage. You attack the dragon and just smite it straight away, so it's not that hard to smite it.
Maybe you can give some lessons to some other junglers out there. Now, there was also a very curious gank from you in the mid lane on Froggen. Was that maybe how are your nerves doing if you're coming into this? A couple of weeks with the team, the LCS crowd, you of course have Nyph behind you as well. How is that treating you?
I'm still really nervous when I play every game, and especially like Jarvan. On the new keyboard and the gear, it's really hard. Like sometimes I fade my EQs, and that's why I don't really like to play him. But I had to bring him and play him so I get used to him, because he's a really strong pick, so yeah.
So in the end, you were able to set aside SK Gaming. What were you better at this game than them, or why did they not follow through?
I think everything was even until the Drake fight. That's what got us ahead. And then they still used the split pushing tactic, and we couldn't react to it early, but then afterwards we thought about what we do normally against it, and it worked out by just pushing him out.
Yep, absolutely. Now, tell us a little bit about your time in EG. You've been with the team now for a couple of weeks. How are you handling, the pressure that you have another jungler that's in the team? How are the guys treating you?
It's really nice. All of them are really nice, especially Snoopy. I thought he was gonna have a grudge against me, but he's really nice. I don't know, we go out shopping, go out on a run together. We do a lot of stuff. So yeah.
So it's nice for you, becoming real bros.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Shaker.
Thank you too.
And we're going to take a short break, but when we come back, we have one more game. Yesterday, Nyph showed they're still a contender with a comeback victory against EG, but they'll face